Hey, I'm ElusiveKev, Mr. Cole. Welcome back to MotoGP 17 and the Rider career as Patrick McDonald got off to a fantastic start on board the Suzuki. Can he continue round the Sachsenring in Germany? As here he goes for the first of two qualifying laps at the halfway mark of the season, round 9 out of 18. And the championship is as close as ever. After McDonald's victory in Assen, with Dovi, the championship leader, going into that round, failing to score. And then the Yamaha's doing pretty well. And then Marcus dropping back in the last few laps. And so it is very close at the top. The reigning champ, despite the tough opposition, still right up there. Only 2 victories this season though. So far in 8 races. Only 3 podiums. That he's half a race win off the top. It has been a crazy season once again in MotoGP. As Middle goes a bit wide over that rise. And it's a very unusual Sachsenring circuit. As he runs very wide through the waterfall onto the back straight. Don't want to be doing that on this proper qualifying out. This banker is not going to win any plaudits. Been very scruffy. Goes into the final corner and second gear up the hill. Got to try and be smooth on the power in this Suzuki, very hard as we discovered in the last couple of rounds, as he does a 20.1. That's good for row 6 probably. Well, of course he doesn't want to be way back there. He goes for the first couple of corners on this Suzuki. The medium front really needed help on that bike. Nice amount compared to Spain. As you can see, 19.5 for Cal Abraham. So that 20.1 is good for the back row of the grid, maybe. As he goes through this first section. And trying to accelerate away, but the rear is just not gripping, even with the soft tyres. Really is struggling as Roberto sets a 19.4, does the Spaniard. You can see McDonald just slower than Rabat. This is not very good at all. He needs to be much faster than the Spaniard, who normally qualifies way down the field. He goes through the water onto the back straight this time, makes it work, and now he's half a second up. Can maybe relax slightly going into the last section then. But still, just half a second up on Rabat, needs to be around a second up if he wants to make it through to qualifying 2. He goes out the final corner, spins up that rear tyre and sets an 18.8, which is a terrible lap time. Look at that, a 10th off making it through, as Petrucci makes it through with an 18.6 with Jonas Folger, the home hero. With Reddy missing out in 3rd, Baptista in 4th, and McDonald, the winner of the last race, 5th in qualifying 1, will be starting on the 6th row. So he will be on the 6th row in the end, as he's just ahead of Rins by a row in 8th with Rowdy Smith at the back. So what can Patrick McDonald do from the midfield in the race? As here we are on the starting grid, seeing Rossi at the top ahead of Vinales and Marcus, with Dovi leading the second ahead of Pedrosa and Crutchlow. Then Magnum leads the third ahead of Renzo and Sargent. We've got Petrucci, Espargaro and Folgers. There's Blue still ahead of his teammate Rins. As the Suzuki rider revs up the engine, waits for the lights to appear. And go out for this 8-lap race, and got a beauty of a start past the Tech Freeze of Volga. And Sark heading towards the first corner. Drifts into Crutchlow. Well, he's going to drift into 3rd as he's side by side with Rossi. Round the outside though, no grip. And where's he going now? Heading into the long right hand. He's drifted behind Iannone in 6th, as his teammates in 5th, and he got Dovi in 4th, as he got Marquez leading ahead of the Yamahas. Let's see what McDonald can do with the medium front, hard rear, that combo that works so well in Assen. See if it works well here in Germany. He looks around the outside of his teammate Iannone. That's not going to work. Down the inside over the rise. It's all almost side by side. Through the left and then into the right. Don't know where McDonald's going. But he's keeping it upright, which is the main thing. So go into the penultimate corner. He's got Zarco behind in 7th. Right on his tail is the Frenchman. Coming to the outside in the final corners. Look at that, McDonald trying to get on the power, but the rear just spinning up on his opening lap. But hopefully when the hard tyres start to bed in a bit, he won't suffer from these issues. As he breaks very deep into the first corner, just tries to put a little bit of throttle on, and Suzuki kicking back. He is a bucking bronco, this thing. He's got Inoni in front. He's being held up by his teammate though. You can see the top 4 racing away slightly. Gets into the back of his teammate and tries to block past him, but just can't get by. Now he's finally nudged by the Italian and he's past the Maniac. Into the top 5. Now can he catch the top 4 of the Renzo? It's not Dovi, it's the Renzo, the Spaniard. Having a fantastic race. So once again, Andrea having a poor one. He's really going to be dropping back in the championship. So here goes McDonald to the back end of Lorenzo. He just tries to get on the power, but the Suzuki is not smooth. Before it'd be a bit smoother, a bit like the Avinti last season, which was a beauty of a bike, but no bike has lived up to it. The Yamaha has been horrible, especially on the harder tyres. The Suzuki just is not good either. KTM was better than this, and that struggled with straight line speed. As you've got Lorenzo in front by 8/10. Got a second gap behind to Dovi. So he's in a Ducati sandwich. The Italian not having a good race again. Just what he needed after Assen, isn't it? Go through the long left hand. He's still got Marquez holding off. The Yamaha's at the front. Oh, here comes McDonald. He's gained a bit on the Renzo. Gone slightly wide as well through the left. As you can see, very bumpy in this section, but gaining massively on the Ducati down the back straight, then towards the penultimate corner. Got the epitome of this bumpy section. In the final corner, going uphill. Got to be so careful getting on the power. You know, sets an 18.7. That is not a good lap time. He needs to be in the low 18s if he wants to catch the top 3. Where Rossi and Vinales are battling like hell on their Yamahas. McDonald just sliding this bike in the first section. He could work with the slides on the KTM, but he couldn't on the Yamaha. He can't on the Suzuki, it seems, in this race. Bike just pushing everywhere. He just puts a little bit of power and the rear end is sliding. No rear traction at all in this race. I'm not sure if it's just the hard rear tyres that are not his friend, but then how come the Avinti was perfect to ride? Didn't have a lack of power either. It just handled beautifully. It's more right on the tail of Lorenzo. Making the move into the right hander. Lorenzo holds it round the outside on his Ducati. Breaking into penultimate corner. McDonald goes wide. He tries to get on the power early and cuts it back, but again, just when he needs it, that rear end is out of line. He goes across the start-finish line, 18.3. That's much better from McDonald, but still in 5th. On the Renzo. Oh, is he going to make the move into the first corner? He's right on the tail here. He's virtually pushing the Renzo out. The first corner, he is down the inside of the Ducati. Makes the move into the right hander. He gets 4th and holds up Lorenzo as well. Really does block the Spaniard. Tries to get back, but he gets forced wide. And now what can McDonald do in the second half of this race? Now that he's clear, can he catch up to the top 3? I've built a gap of a few seconds. 2.3 to be precise. Well, it does run wide in the left-hander. Lorenzo wants to take this position back. Not going to give it up, is McDonald, now that he's fought so hard to get it. Get this 4th position. It may not be a podium, but again, it'll be another very solid point scoring outing. As Lorenzo just pushes McDonald wide. It's getting dirty. Once again is Jorge. It's just like Catalunya all over again between this pairs. Look at that 19.8 when he was finally in clear air. Lorenzo just pushes him wide in a couple of corners. Not playing nice. He's the veteran. Enjoying being the top Ducati for once. Maybe that's why he's been aggressive. He's like, this is my 4th. And puts his flag into the ground. Let's go through this tristy first section. This first half, that's so frustrating trying to get onto the power. And then the second half, you can get on that power and unleash the hounds. So that's a nice smooth exit from McDonald. Having a little look into the left. Lorenzo holding on. But not through the next left. McDonald sneaks by. Lorenzo gets him on the exit though. And through the right onto the back straight. Got a beautiful slipstream in the Suzuki, looking to the inside in the penultimate corner. Oh, he clips Lorenzo. Oh, Lorenzo's down. McDonald with a bump and run on a motorbike. What the hell? Pedrosa up to 6th. Dovi up into the top 5. I guess that's one way to get by. But now he's 4.4 behind Rossi. It's going to be a lonely 4th at the end of this race. As we're already on the penultimate lap. This race is flying by that time, right? You can see a very short lap, around 20 seconds. For the MotoGP machines. He's got a 1.3 second gap behind to Dovi. Tyre weight on the rear is not that good. But still, it's around a quarter of the tyre left. Front tyre, where it's a medium tyre. Looking fantastic. Got over half tyre left. As he goes through the left. Now 5.1 behind the Yamaha in front. And just 0.7 ahead of Dovi. He's got to look out from behind as McDonald. Now that he's worked his way past one Ducati, another might be coming onto his tail. Onto this final lap. It pulls out a couple of tenths there. Now into the penultimate corner, hooks up that apex. You can barely see the top 3 in front. He goes onto the final lap. Tries to get on the power, but again, the back end just can't get on the power this race. It's incredibly frustrating. He goes into the right-hander at the beginning of the lap. Look at that, just trying to feed in the power, and the rear's getting away. And now his teammate Rins is down from the final points paying position. We won't have 3 Suzukis in the points as Rossi gets past Vinales for second. When Vinales is having none of it. It's a Spaniard. And Rossi takes him back. What a battle they're having for second behind Marquez. As he got Dovi in 5th. Almost a second back. And Doran doing well in this final lap. To increase that gap or maintain it. Let's go over the right. Keep it in 3rd gear. So the medium front seems to work, but the hard rear is not. But you can't afford to go to a medium rear, because then the tyre will definitely be worn out at the end of the race. It's just a conundrum here for McDonald. As he goes into the final corner, Marquez has won in the Sachsenring. Where have we heard that before? Very consistent round there, the Honda rider. Well, McDonald gets a pretty controversial 4th. As he finishes just ahead of Dovi in the end. Really did gain in the last couple of corners, did the Italian. As Rossi did the fastest lap, 18.1, but he's only 3rd behind his teammate Vinales. As you've got Pedrosa in 6th, Petrucci 7th, Redding in 8th. Great race for Premac. Head of Espargaro in 9th. Sarko ran out top 10 over Inoni. In Crutcho, Lorenzo in 13th in the end. Folger 14th. Batista grabbing the final point ahead of Lois Baz with Tito Rabat. at the back. So in the championship, Vinales leads by 9 points ahead of Rossi at the halfway mark of the season, with W third at 8 points back. Then McDonald in fourth, just 3 points behind Ducati and 20 points off the top. I was thinking he'd take that after the first half of the season with just 3 podiums, 2 victories, a couple of fourths now on the Suzuki, but overall not the dominance we saw in the second half of last season. We expect him to be much better on the Yamaha and Suzuki so far, with Marquez in fifth, just over a race win behind, 27 points back, separates the top 5 as well. How close is this championship, with Petrucci in sixth on 100 points already on his Premier. What a season. Danilo is probably the ride of the season so far, with Pedrosa in 7th, Lorenzo in 8th, Crutcher in 9th, Sarka ran out of top 10 ahead of Iannone, then Redding in 12th, Alicia Spargo in 13th, Alvaro Batista 14th, Jonas Folger 15th, Loris Baz 16th, At Rins in 17th, 11 points for Jack Miller, then Hector Barber in 19th, and Tito about the last point score. K-Ram last in the standings, with Honda ahead of Ducati by 2 points. But they're 36 points behind Yamaha, with Suzuki on 82 points, then Aprilia in 5th, with KTM yet to score. As in the team's rankings, Honda up to second ahead of Ducati as well by 3 points, but they're 79 points behind Yamaha, with Suzuki in for 15 points back from third, and way ahead of Pramac by 50 points, as they're way ahead of the chasing pack of satellite teams, beginning with Tech 3 with 85 points. Then you've got LCR Honda in 7th with 71 points, then Aprilia in 8th, Aspar 9th, Avintia in 10th, Mark Vidius in 11th, and the factory KTM effort at the back with Neil Pra. So the pattern continues on board the Suzuki. Hopefully it happens next time out as well around the Automotive Drome, Brno in the Czech Republic.